Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Jim Wells County Commissioners Court for today, January 27th, 2025, 9 a.m. is now in session. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Very well.
Good, good. Agenda item number 3, public testimony. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the court at this time?
I will. I just want to let everybody know that I took in the distributor truck to get an estimate, and I got it back. And a lot of the things that they did say was maintenance. A lot of it was because it wasn't maintained. So I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to give them the go-ahead to go ahead and get started. And on next Commissioner's Court, I guess we'll put it on there so we can discuss, payment, and we can get back on our schedule.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, I would like to announce that for Justice of the Peace Precinct 3, Judge Smith, on Wednesday at 10 a.m., we're going to do a ribbon cutting for the Halo pad in Sandia, for the new Halo pad in Sandia, and also for the water well for Sandia ESD1 Fire Department. I want to invite anybody who would like to attend Commissioner's Court. I want to invite you guys for sure.
What's the date? What's the date?
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Commissioner's Court was a big part of this, both of these projects. So I'd like everybody to be at attendance if possible. Agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take action to approve minutes from previous meeting.
To approve.
Second.
I have a motion, and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 5, consent agenda. Consent agenda items will be voted upon in one vote and will not be discussed separately unless requested by the county judge, commissioner, or a citizen.
Motion to approve items presented, Judge.
Second.
Ms. Garcia, any issues or anything? Everything was fine with that? Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion needed?
Bless
All in
you.
favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 6, discuss, consider, and take action to permit Paloma Operating to construct a pipeline on county road, on the county right-of-way adjacent to County Road 220 and 221, and set compensation amount for Jim Wells County.
Come over here. Yeah, right here.
So I brought these packages for you guys to look at while we're gonna be doing it, and that's pipeline details, contact information, all that. And I have one more for you. Sorry, everybody. Thank you. Hello? Okay, hi. My name's Alana Gonzalez. I'm a geologist and landman, and I drill conventional wells in South Texas area. This is a project we drilled in West Alfred. We drilled it in December, and I've been trying to get it to sales since then. We even abandoned the idea and tried to make it an oil well, but it was just a low feed-in oil well. The people in the area don't really want to mess with us. You know, they want $50 a foot. We're laying a small 3-inch poly. It's just not economic whatsoever. Prior to drilling, we did have 2 other options that we were going to go to, which was to POCO, I forgot his name, Ryan Brogley, I believe. We were going to hook up to him, but Interfin gave me false information. Those lines weren't active. So the first page is contact information for myself, Paloma, the operator, and the pipeline company that we're going to be tying into, which is Interfin. The system out there is the Alvadusa gathering system, and the subsystem is the Remit to the Bailey Stratton system. The pipeline in place already with Interfin is a 6-inch diameter, low-pressure line. Currently flowing pressure averages around 120 pounds, so that's pretty low pressure for a pipeline. We plan to install a DR7 3-inch poly line at a depth, a minimum of 36 inches. There is a creek crossing that we will bore a minimum of 36 inches below the surface. So at every point will be 36 inches. And then when we hit the creek, we will continue at the surface of the bottom of the creek. We will still be 36 inches below that. This DR7 poly line, I do have the specs at the very end for you guys, all the specs. This is what that line is made for. It's rated and tested up to 335 pounds. It's designed for oil and gas. I know one of the questions from Michael Guetta was, how are we going to splice it together? And it's the same exact way you would metal. It's a heat fusion, so basically welding it together. Length is 6,100 feet. That's just an average. I just rounded it up. Compensation will be $2 per foot, paid in full prior to starting any construction. Like I said, we did try to make it an oil well. So we came up the hole and put a bridge plug over. So now we have to go back, drill through the bridge plug, and try to bring that gas formation back on. It does have 10 other gas zones. But that being said, it is the oil business, so we could get unlucky and not even have something come in. So that's why I talked with Michael about, before we start any construction, paid in full. And if something happens, I will definitely let you guys know. What type of safety we will be doing, we'll be having pressure relief valves in place at the wellhead. And if at any point in time it exceeds 200 pounds, it just vents straight to the tanks. We have a gauger check it every day. So the poly line is tested to 335. We won't even let it get to that point. There's shutoff valves at the wellhead, and also we're going to put a valve right where the county right away that we need meets our lease right away, and then at that point we won't even have any gas flowing through y'all's right away if something were to happen. Which I've been here since 2016, and I haven't seen something happen, but just in case. And then we will also follow all the Railroad Commission regulations as far as how often to market and where to market, so everyone knows that it's there.
I have a question.
Yes,
On the compensation, $2 per foot, is that linear foot or,
yes, yes, linear
okay,
foot.
do we get compensated on the county part besides the permit?
That is the additional, the 500 had already been paid.
And then the $2 a foot?
And yeah.
Yes.
so
Crossing every road.
12,200.
Yeah, I was understood that the 500 was just kind of for you guys meeting me today and whatnot. The next page is a map of the whole entire right-of-way, and you can see our lease line there, the Garcia lease line. in yellow. It's a pretty large lease. It has a lot of potential for gas. The old Adams family used to own it, actually, and then they gave it to their maid because they didn't have any kids, and now the Garcia people own it, which is really cool, I thought. So it's about 3,500 feet that we'll be doing right away on our lease there, and then we'll be tying into 6,086 feet of county right away. That is not exact, but we will have an exact number for you, and like, that's why I rounded it to 6,100.
Where exactly that valve gonna go?
If you go to the next page, I have it in here, so I can give you a visual.
Okay, go ahead.
So the next page, there you can see this is kind of the average amount of space you have in the route, right away. You could park like 4 trucks lined up like that. It's very spacious. Yeah. Yeah, and then the next map and then the next picture is going to show you the question that you just had, where our lease line and the county right-of-way connection point right there. And on the next picture, this is actually where it will be connected, right there on the lease line to the neighbor. I believe their name is Russell. I'm not too sure. I have to check. And then Mr. Garcia. So this is where that connection point will be right there. Or we'll probably have the connection point, the valve on our side, obviously.
I would rather have it inside the Garcia property.
Okay, that works too.
You know, that way we won't be exposed to the danger of somebody hitting it.
You got it. And I'm pretty sure that's what, when I met with you last Friday, my engineer Calvert Jones went out there, and Keith Simnocker from Interfen went out there, and we walked the right away, and we checked out the creek, and we said, okay, I think the best bet is to bore the creek. And then we also just looked at the space and what we had to deal with. So shut off valve
I
and
have a
lease line.
question.
Yes, sir.
Isn't the minimum depth 4 feet for any pipeline?
I was under the impression that it was 3 feet, but if that is the regulation, then we'd
I
be
think
happy to
DOT
follow.
regulations is 4 feet.
Okay.
I think it's 48 inches. I
Yes.
think that's what they,
8 inches, okay. That can be done. On our leases, we usually have a minimum of 36 feet, but I guess that is on private property and stuff like that. So if that's
It's usually 48 inches from ground level to the top of the pipe,
okay,
and that's almost standard.
okay, definitely, that can be arranged. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of space there to do the connection point. Next picture, or next map, is gonna be where we're gonna be tying the county right-of-way into the Interfin line. Originally, excuse me? Oh, I thought you had a question. Originally, we were gonna meet right where the red line and the blue line intersect, as we discussed last Friday. But when we went and checked out the field, if we were to tie in right there, we'd have to go straight down to 6 feet. And we think it'd be easier if we came up to where Interfin said their line is at 3 feet. So maybe it's a little bit deeper, but it would be an easier and safer connection point if we carried it out around the corner and did it there instead of on that bend there. And then I also attached a picture so you could see the point of where we will be connecting, and there is a lot of space there as well to work with. The next page is gonna be the poly specs, and that's what we'll be using, that DR 7 through 21. You can see that it is for non-pressure oil and gas producing, not for water, but for oil and gas. And then the following page is also just the specs as far as how thick the wall is, which is 1/2 inch. And it says there it's pressured for 335 pounds. Is there any questions or anything like that?
Y'all use a poly pipe fuser or some compressed collars on joints?
I believe they use the fuser, the actual machine that does it in the field. Yes, but I can definitely follow up
Yeah.
and give you that information.
Normally, they use those compressed collars on high-pressure poly lines, but they're not gonna be a minimal operation, so they probably, depending on the engineer, I guess, they fuse it,
Yeah, yeah,
as long as it meets the standards.
you got it. Do I have to fill this out?
I'll make a motion to approve item as presented, Judge. Or is it gonna include the 4 feet depth?
Yeah, just to go ahead
Yes.
and add that in, that.
To include the 4
with
feet,
The understanding that rather than the 36 as presented, we're going 48.
that change.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Go ahead and give me an eye on that too.
Excuse me? Oh, thank you so much.
One more question. You're from here, from Alice?
Yeah,
You
my,
graduated with my son, Pete?
my first boyfriend was your son, yeah.
That's what I thought. Yes, I will, and it's so rewarding to see that, I want to say kids, young men and young women his age
33.
are doing business still here in Jim Wells, in Alice. That's real good to hear and real good to see. That's what we want.
From a
Thank you so much.
bartender to a engineer.
Yeah, I was a bartender in college, and that's how I made money for my first oil and gas lease, and been doing it since 2016. So,
Congratulations. Thank you so
Congratulations.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Excuse me. Agenda item number 7, discuss, consider, and take action to authorize Constable Precinct 3 Jim Long to apply for grant for flock safety LPR equipment through the Office of the Governor, Public Safety Office, Criminal Justice Division. Resolution included as per grant request.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioner.
Morning.
Just to clarify, I wanted to put this on the agenda with the correct wording for approval, because I was told before to just apply for the grant, but I need to go ahead and I guess get y'all's approval to do so, and that's what I'm here for.
And this is for,
It's a 12-camera flock safety system. They're a solar controlled, so they don't need power. It's for the grant through the Governor's Office, Criminal Justice Division. And they'll be placed in strategic locations on the north end of the county.
is there a match for this grant or anything?
No, it's 100% paid for.
100%?
Motion to approve item as presented, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed?
Yes, if you're awarded the grant, make sure it comes back to Commissioner's Court for review.
Okay.
Okay.
When it's awarded or after the
Yeah,
year term?
when it's
Okay.
awarded. That way we know exactly what's gonna be in it.
Will do.
And please, we now have a grant administrator, which is Norma Salas. And, she can actually administrate this grant for you. There's deadlines or whatever, she'll keep track of all that.
Yeah, the deadlines are in about a little less than 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're writing the grant, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So, after it's written and submitted, provide the application to Ms. Salas.
Oh, okay.
And then if it's awarded, let her know it's awarded, and she'll get involved at that time.
Okay, good deal.
All right, all right.
Thank you.
Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and I'll go yes with my commissioners.
I do have the resolution and a document to be signed by you, so we can get this all submitted.
Perfect.
The resolution, I believe, is supposed to be read aloud according to the grant.
You want to read it?
If you want me to read it, that's fine.
So if you would provide the electronic copy to Isabel, she put it on our letterhead.
This one needs to be signed by there.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Srini, you wants me to read it because you're coughing?
Something like that.
For the resolution for the grant, it says, whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court finds it in the best interest of the citizens of Jim Wells County that the Constable Precinct 3 for the LPR system be operated for the 25 through 29 year. And whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees to provide $0 for said project as required by the Office of the Attorney General grant application. And whereas Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the Office of Governor funds, Jim Wells County Commissioners Court assures that the funds will be returned to the Office of the Governor in full. Whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court designates Constable Jim Long as, the grantee's authorized official. The authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of the applicant agency. Now therefore it be resolved that the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court approve submission of the grant application for the flock camera system to the Office of the Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
And
Thank
we
you.
already voted on it. Agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and adopt a resolution to designate authorized signatories for the 2023 Texas CDBG grant agreement number CDV 23-0313. This is just giving us authorization to designate our signatories, which will be myself, let me see, the county clerk, the county auditor, and the county treasurer. And this is for that grant number, and this is for water lines remodel and replacement. It's an 8-inch water line on Rosario Street and Herrera Street. This is one of the grants that it's an ongoing grant that's in Mr. Aguilar's precinct. This is just giving us authorization to designate our signatories.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion granted. I'll go ahead and be a yes on that too. It's a good deal anytime we can use grant money to replace water lines and update our infrastructure. Agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and take action on a resolution for Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program, grant number 3876-207.
Commissioners, Carlos Garcia, District Attorney, to present on the request for the resolution. This is an ongoing grant. This is already going to be this grant, if approved and granted, would be the 7th year in operation. This grant covers victim assistance services in our area. It pays for one attorney who handles all the protective orders for the county, and it also has 2 crime victim coordinators that deal with the direct services and getting referrals for services that are outside of our area to the victims, and also going for crime victim compensation funds for the victims that qualify for those. It also pays for an assistant to help them both with the legal matters in the protective orders, but also with gathering all the information that's required for us to put in our progress reports every 3 months. So this grant does have a matching. It's a 20% match, and the total grant itself is a little over 300,000. It's about $304,000. The grant and the matching funds have always, and I'm telling you, this comes from, we fund it through the asset forfeiture funds, and then that gets paid. So it's not going to cost the county any money out of the county's budget. With that being said, we're requesting to be allowed to go after this grant as a continuing grant. I do have the resolution. The only change will be the date, because it was submitted originally to be presented on the 24th. But the rest of the language is correct, and if approved, I will put it on the record.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second, further discussion.
Thank you, Carlos.
I think it's a very important grant.
Thanks, sir.
I think they do and a very, very important service to our community. I think it's important that we continue to support that. And thank you, Mr. Garcia, appreciate you. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Go ahead and put me a yes on that one too.
Already put it on the record, Your Honor, so just
Sure.
to make sure. Okay. This is the resolution for Jim Wells County Commissioners Court, submission of the Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program, grant number 3876207. Fund source is the Victim of Crime Act Formula Grant Program. Whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court finds it in the best interest of the citizens of Jim Wells County that the Victims of Crime Act Formula Grant for Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program be operated for the October 1, 2025 through September 30, 2026 term, and whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees to provide applicable matching funds of the said project as required by the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division grant application, and whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the Office of Governor, Criminal Justice Division funds, said funds will be returned to the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division in full, and whereas the Jim Wells County Commissioners Court designates the 79th Judicial District Attorney as the grantee's authorized official, and the authorized official is hereby given the authority to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of Jim Wells County. Now therefore be it resolved that Jim Wells County Commissioners Court approves submission of the grant application for the Victims of Crime Act Formula Grant for Jim Wells and Brooks County's Victim Assistance Program to the Office of Governor, Criminal Justice Division, approved and passed this 27th day of January 2025, and we'll make sure the date gets changed for the signature, Judge.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take action to select a firm for engineering services related to the 2025 Texas Department of Transportation TxDOT Transportation Alternative Program, TAP, for the unincorporated community of Bemboat Sidewalk Project, and authorize the county judge to negotiate final contract for said services.
We're requesting to table it, Judge, until maybe next meeting because of last week's schedule.
Weather
of,
events?
Weather stuff, we were not able to.
How is the deadline? Haley's up there. Haley,
Good morning.
morning. So that we table it for what, February 10th? What is it?
For the next,
Commissioner? We have another one. Would that be enough time, February 10th?
Yes, sir, I think so. The application would be due the following Friday on February 21st. But that should still give us plenty of time.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Motion to table it, Judge?
How many?
You're extending the time period for submission?
No,
For the reviews and the.
Just for the
Oh, for the
reviews.
reviews?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Just they haven't gotten together.
Do we know how many submitted or no?
there's six,
6 submitted? Okay.
5 or 6.
All right.
I'll say there's 6.
If there's a,
Made a motion to table.
yeah, but if there's any issues with time, can we have a meeting before then or no?
Up to y'all, if you wanna have a special, we still need 3 days notice.
You got enough time, but we have to do it early.
I'm sure that we can probably
Monday?
get, for sure by Thursday. But
Thursday.
we'll,
I had a second, right, or no?
no second.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second to table this item. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, and take action to enter into a contract with Turnkey Health Clinics for inmate health services at the Jim Wells County Jail.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Sheriff.
So, we may have to, table this. I just got a call, this morning. We've been trying to, find other alternatives. We have several inmates been waiting several weeks to see a doctor. I did get a call, that it looks potential from a Dr. Brian Brown. He lives in Corpus, but he does work here at the emergency room. He also does, I think, some stuff with Meridian. And in our conversation, this going on up until even this morning, he is willing to come to the jail 2 days a week. He also has a nurse practitioner that could fill in if he's not available. He's also willing to do telemed, which will help us in our manpower from transporting these inmates to various places. Even we had to transport lately to Benavides with Community Action, which was a $400 bill. So I would like to, I'm going to schedule to meet with him on Wednesday, and then maybe bring back to the court what kind of fee schedule that he's going to want. So I don't know if we want to table this, would be my suggestion.
Okay,
We can put it on the same agenda then?
yeah, can I get a motion?
Motion to table this item, number
Motion to
11.
table.
And I have a motion, I have a second. Are we gonna have to put out that RFP again so they can put in
because
for
we
the,
only
we
had
don't, yeah.
We only had the one response to the first RFP that we did.
Sheriff, I don't know if you're aware of that, but we only had one response to the first RFP we did. And there may be one or two local that might be interested in, I'm not sure what the fee schedule gonna be for it.
Right.
But if it's over 50, we definitely have to put out that RFP again and have anybody you speak with or whatever put in for that service.
Yes, sir. And I know that from the last Commissioners Court, it was suggested by Commissioner Gonzalez that we check with some other options. So I could do that. I don't know who all has put in. I just have to.
So what we'll do is, we'll put this item also for Friday.
Okay.
We can put it out, and, once we put it out, then we can call those agencies that you want to speak with and let them know that the RFP is out and have them submit for the.
Submit for it?
Yes.
Okay.
And we usually have to put it in the paper for 2 weeks. So we'll have it in the paper for 2 weeks. That's the least amount of time we need to have it. As soon as we get, as soon as that time comes, we'll get those applicants and we will review them and try to put a quick return on everything.
All right. That sounds good. And then, like I said, just,
And the only way we can get away from not following that procurement process would be if they're in some kind of buy board or in tips or some kind of service buy board. If they're in a service buy board, then we can bypass the RFP stage. Okay.
that I'm not aware of. I just know that, is trying to get this to is the idea that him coming and to the jail, it saves us a lot of money. So I just want to give him an opportunity. Maybe if we have to wait another 2 weeks, that's fine. And I know that it's the other contract is, it's similar, but we might get the same fee schedule pretty close to what Dr. Lopez had. So
If you speak with them, you might not want to talk about the fee schedule because we don't need to know that until they answer the procurement.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's just a process.
Isabel, is there still time to submit something for this Wednesday's newspaper? I think the deadline is Friday, right?
The deadline is, yes.
Okay, so we can't get it on this one. So it won't publish at
Until Friday.
earliest until February 5th and February 12th.
How about if we use the Corpus Christi caller? And we post it on the caller and post it with Russell Gruber. He can help us post that too. If we put it in the caller, we might be able
I
to.
don't think it really, I don't know how, if it's more or less expensive, but the problem is, I don't see a way we're gonna be able to post it twice by February 10th.
Got you.
It would have to be posted this week and next week in order to take it up on February 10th. Otherwise, we're looking at the second meeting of February.
Okay. And if needed, we can make another meeting between that. We can post another meeting between that. This is important. This is kind of an emergency, so we can do that also.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
I have a motion and a second to table this item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 12, discuss, consider, and take action on Commissioner Renee Chapa's request to set a maximum speed limit of 20 miles per hour on all neighborhood streets in Sandia, Texas, excluding State Highway 359, FM 70, FM 1540, County Road 364, and County Road 3601.
Sandia is a small community, and right now those roads, if we're lucky, they're 12-foot. If not, some of them might be 14. And there's a lot of children, there's a lot of elderly, and they're very short roads. And I think there's one speed limit sign there right now, and it's at 30. And I drove it, and it's just, it's too fast for that small community. It's just, they're short. There's no reason anybody should be going really over 20. So I got with Mr. Miller. Did you want to come up and say anything, or? He lives in Sandia.
Morning to everyone.
Morning.
Glad to see you.
Can you
Kind
state
of-
your name for the court, please?
Pardon me?
Can you state your name for the court?
Richard Miller.
Richard Miller. How you doing, Mr. Miller?
So far, so good.
Good. Good to see you.
Okay. I appreciate the commissioner working with me. As she's already said, the streets were made for Model Ts and Fords. So they're very small, tight. And if you meet oncoming, you got to split the street, get off the street. But there are some folks that late for work or whatever it is, you got one sign that states the speed limit is 30. They come flying down one street there doing 40 miles an hour, not stopping at stop signs. You know, constable cannot write a speeding ticket if we don't have signs posted. So before we can even start enforcing a law, we need to have these signs posted, and I appreciate it. A few months back, and I will admit, the owner of that pup should have had the pup under control in his yard, but it got away from him. One of those individuals came flying down the street, hit that little pup. By all rights, he should have killed it, but he didn't. And that little guy laid out there for 2 hours just screaming his head off. We now have a family that's moved into the community, and they have two small, they're walking, they're able to walk. And again, I'll say they should be responsible enough to keep their children out of the street. However, I think everybody on this board is a parent, and when you had those small children, they got away from you occasionally. My concern is I'd hate to have one of those little kids run over. And we need, I'm requesting help in trying to get these folks to realize that, that's not a freeway. We've got to reduce our speed in order to keep the community safe.
You got a question?
Any questions?
I got a question for Mr. Guerra. Mr. Guerra, do we have the authority to be able to do that? Or do we have to go through TxDOT to get approved through them?
These are not state highways, that's why
No,
they
I understand,
accepted,
pero-
that's why they accepted these other ones.
Okay, so we don't have to get okay through TxDOT for whatever reason? Like I know the speed bumps, when I put them on, I had to go through them first and then take it to court.
Okay.
So
I don't have the answer to that.
I know they say that,
So because-
I know they say there's a minimum requirement for speed limits on county roads. So I just want to make sure that if we can approve it, that's fine, but I just want to make sure we're not skipping anybody else, like the highway department approval.
I'm not aware of that. I think we set speed limits on a few other roads before, and I'm not sure, I don't think we went through TxDOT, but we can, you can make a motion, to approve and, subject to meeting with, or contacting TxDOT and making sure that they don't have to be involved in it. I'll make that motion. I'll make a motion that we approve.
I think for county roads, Judge, the speed limit is how safe you can make it.
Exactly.
That's pretty much what the rule is, that
Exactly,
We- we-
that's
we
a
can
real
go
good
your
point.
route.
Real good point. Thank you for making that point, and I think that's totally true right there. I'll make my motion that we approve this item, as long as we contact, Ms. Renee contacts, TxDOT and verifies that we don't need any special permission from them. And if so, then we'll go through that process.
Want to make that a motion? I'll second it.
I got a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good to
Thank
see
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioners.
Richard.
Agenda item number 13, discuss an update on the procurement process to address the modernization of elevators in Jim Wells County Political Subdivision 601 East Main Street, Alice, Texas 78332. I just wanted to bring to the court for transparency purposes, in the process of making sure that we can modernize our elevators before we begin moving our departments that are gonna move over there. Want to make sure that they're fully operable. Right now, we inherited, after purchasing that building, we inherited the contract with Otis Elevators. And they have provided a bid of $230,000 to modernize both of them. And I want to come to court. We've had 2 or 3 others look at it. We got verbals of roundabout I think it was 245 and 250. I haven't got it in writing, but we got the verbals, and it was roundabout what Otis is proposing. And if we go with Otis, since we have a contract with them, our procurement process says that we have a contract with them, and it's an update to the services, then we don't have to go out for procurement or RFPs. In this case, we inherited that contract, and we're considering it an upgrade to the two elevators that are there, and the base contract amount is $230,308.
Is this a discussion item?
It's just a discussion item. I wanted to bring it to Commissioners Court, not just go ahead and do it myself. We want to be transparent as possible, not only to you guys, but to the community.
Well, you know, in this case, we can't respond to it because we're deciding the agenda.
What's the discussion now?
It was a discussion. You can respond to it. We just won't have to vote on anything. If
This is like public testimony. We can,
It's an agenda item, you can fully discuss it.
where's it at?
You just can't take any action on it. It's not an action.
Number 13.
it's number 13.
Oh, 13, okay.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I wanted to make sure that we're transparent as we can with the Commissioners Court and with the public. Now, if there's any issues with it, then we can deal with them as needed. But I'm ready to answer any questions anybody may have.
When would they start, Judge?
If I can give them the go-ahead, they'll start as soon as possible. It's gonna take at least 5 to 6 weeks at most. We're hoping that we can get all the parts, we can get everything. By 3 to 4 weeks, we can get it done. Our county attorney, Mr. Guerra, he knows that we have some things that we're working on right now, insurances, bank accounts. We're working on all these things. All these things can probably be ironed out with the next 3 to 4 weeks. My plan was not to put anybody in the second, third, and fourth floor until these are fully completed and fully operated. There's 1 or 2 spaces maybe on the first floor. We're currently discussing the possibilities of who may be able to go over there. But otherwise, it'll take at most 5 to 6 weeks. The sooner I can get the answer to them, the quicker they can get started.
What kind of warranty do they give once they update the elevators?
The warranty, you're gonna ask me a hard question that I don't know, right? That's a good question, though. Not sure.
I'm sure usually they go 90 days or a year, but until you see it in writing, then
I'm sure, 'cause it's got years, quite a, you know, I think, Judge, you need to bring all 3 bids or whatever and let the review committee look at them. You know, to make sure that, find out what kind of warranty, as Mr.
Aguilar?
Commissioner, is saying, you know.
It says the general warranty period for Otis is 1 year. And you can buy additional time
Warranty.
at a fee.
Commissioner, we could do that.
Judge, you just said that it was included in the, I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
The contract? You just, so it doesn't require for you to go through.
Yeah, with the procurement
bids.
process, it doesn't require it. We did it. We have one, I have one bid here that has it around 214,000. But like I said, we're under contract right now with Otis. So if we plan to continue to go with Otis with the maintenance, it might behoove us to allow them to
You know,
do
the other ones might be higher because they have better insurance or better warranty. Could be one of the reasons they're a little higher.
So if we do that, Mr. Guerra, we have to go out to RFP, right?
You don't
It's
have
gonna-
to, you've got 3 quotes already, right?
Yeah, but it's gonna be over $50,000. So we'd have to go out for RFP, and that's gonna take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So we can add 4 to 6 weeks to the 5.5 weeks. So y'all, if that's,
You're ready to accept one of them, Judge. All I'm saying is,
Yeah.
let somebody review them. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, but we can't,
If we break the contract with Otis, there's a penalty clause.
That's what I'm saying, we're already on a contract with him, he's already reviewed it, and if he's got the better deal there with him, why do we need to go any further? We don't need to move on.
That's
any
why we
further.
were, just we inherited the contract. If we break the contract, there's gonna be a penalty. So even if somebody comes in with a lower bid, you're gonna have to figure in what that penalty amount assessed against us is gonna be and add it to the, so you may end up with, even though it's a lower bid, you may end up paying more than what Otis is offering it for. Plus, it's an Otis machine.
Yeah.
It's the same-
Yeah,
it's the
no.
same company.
I think we need to move on and stop wasting time and get into that building as soon as possible. And that's a big issue that we need. If we're already in contract with the Otis, then let's just move on with it.
Are these being totally redone?
to modernize to the,
So we have a contract,
almost
Michael,
totally redone.
so that we're stuck with that contract until we go.
It expires.
Oh, you can break it, but there's gonna be a penalty, and I don't know what that
So
amount
where
is.
are we discussing the other ones then?
I think the judge went out to ask just to make sure we were in the
Okay, to
ballpark.
make sure they're in the
that-
ballpark.
Yeah,
Okay.
that Otis wasn't giving us a number much higher, and all of them came in the same range.
Yeah,
I think they're-
and that's exactly why I went. I'm not a professional in that, so I wanted to see what kind of ballpark figures we would get all the way around, and if they were all basically right around that area.
You did the right thing, Judge, making sure everybody's, because they're all pretty close as far as I can see.
Yes, they're close.
I guess let's get a move on it.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion to?
No. It's just, it was just discussion. I wanted to make sure everybody knows what I'm doing, and the public know what we're doing also.
We gave you the authority to negotiate, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can review and whatever look at all the warranties, whatever you need to look at and then make a decision.
Okay. I appreciate that, Commissioner. Thank you so much. Agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take action to approve county treasurer's report and other monthly reports.
Motion to approve.
Get it.
The treasurer's report, right?
Yeah, those are treasures, this is treasurer's report. We're on
Motion to
right now.
approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 15, discuss, consider, and approve auditors' monthly reports.
Yes, Judge, on the, looking over the sales tax report, so for the month of December of '24.
Cindy, can you put the mic a little closer?
Oh, sorry. Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put your strongest, deepest voice so we can hear. The
For,
web needs to hear you too.
I know, for December 2024, sales tax came in at 293,812. Prior month was 310, so we were down just a little bit. For the year, we ended up with 3.3 million versus 3.6 the prior year. So we had kind of already projected throughout the year that we were going to be a little shortfall from prior year. So yeah, I ended up at a difference of 235,000 that we came in a little bit under than the prior year. So definitely a little less than projected and less than last year. But we kind of had seen that trend throughout the year.
I know I'm gonna ask you a hard question. I should have told you before, but do we have the number, what we had in the budget for it, what we estimated on the budget?
2.9?
2.9, so even though we got less, we still got more than 2.9, more than we budgeted.
The 3.3 is total, 2.9 was general fund. Total that we estimated was 3.6 with general and R&Bs. So we ended up a little, yeah. That's where that shortfall of 235 came in.
Okay.
And then just the next one is the auditor's report. Of course, for December, general fund came in at 99% collections. Again, that's kind of a direct hit that we were a little under on the sales tax. Including the R&Bs, our collections were at 103. And then total, including all other funds, we ended up at 101% with all other funds. You go on to the expenditures, and that'll have each department. Of course, the goal is to be at 100% or less. And there's a couple of departments, of course, under, a couple over. For the most part, we have discussed with the departments the reasonings, unforeseen expenses that may have happened. But we do have good communication with the departments. So overall, on the expenditures, we ended up with 93% expenditures. We did have we ended up positive variance of 7%. So just kind of what we had anticipated.
So basically, we had in the general, we spent 94%. So that's 6% variance.
So
I'd like to thank the elected officials, all the department heads, they did a great job with our budget this year and to just really help the county save a lot of money. So.
yes, they did. Everybody
Because
was
this is
very
the end of the
cautious.
year report, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're totally right, Mr. Garcia, and it gives everybody since they were close, everybody was pretty close. It signifies that that the amount of money they're getting budgeted is the amount of money they need to run yearly, and gives us an opportunity that if there's any increases or anything like that, we can come during budget, we can come to Commissioner's Court, and we can approve those kind of things. But this gives us an accurate picture of how much it costs to run every department. And once again, I second that notion, Mr. Garcia, and I want to thank all the department heads and elected officials for being good stewards of their budgets. So some of those budgets that were over, some of them were mine. I just saw real quick vector control. Vector control, yeah, it went over a little bit. We had a virus, mosquito virus, that was going around, and our emergency, our safety officer, Mr. Medel Gonzalez, he was doing He did a great job, and he was out there on weekdays, weekends, anytime he could to make sure that our people were safe. So when things like that happen, some of these budgets are gonna go over.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second to approve agenda item number 15. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 16, discuss, consider, and take action on payroll and bills as submitted by the county auditor, with the exception of Fund 52, 53, and 54.
Make a motion to approve. Motion, make a motion. Motion, second.
Get two copies of the same thing?
Yeah, I got both of them. One's a sales, you can have mine, it's in the, probably on the email.
Okay. Well, I'll just go over it like this.
You got another sales, tax,
Sales tax?
yeah,
Here.
he got two auditors,
Here, you know what? I think I got the second one.
you got two tax. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, there's a motion.
Got a motion, I second. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got a motion, I have a second to adjourn. Any further discussion needed? Please remember, we're having those ribbon cuttings on Wednesday. Everybody invited to Sandia Halo Pad and the fire department. 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
there gonna be drinks or anything?
There'll be some refreshments at the fire department. We'll go to the Halo Pad first, and then the fire department. There'll be some refreshments at the fire department.